So I'm Matt from Think Concepts. I'm the regional manager for Bay of Plenty and Wellington regions for Think. It's week 5, I think, of a form of COVID-19 lockdown. It's obviously getting a bit shaggy and in need of a haircut now, I think. Beard's getting a bit unkempt, but mostly doing okay. And the reason for that is being able to work remotely. So we're going to have a bit of a chat about end user IT security. If you're a business and you've got staff members operating from home, specifically if you've got staff members operating from home using equipment that they own, their own personal computers and things like that, then you're going to want to make sure that they're operating in a secure manner. There's a couple of little basic things we can do there. Just make sure they're not connected to insecure wireless networks, make sure they've got antivirus installed and that it's working properly, and just know how to keep themselves safe on the internet. The reason for the wireless networks is if you're using a VPN to connect into your business network, you're essentially opening your staff's home network and other computers on it up to your business systems. So that's important to just make sure that you're at least trying to minimize people being able to get into your systems via their internet connection. So let's have a little look at that. Down here we've got the wireless connections of a computer. In this particular one, we can see mine here. It's connected, it's secured. It says it's connected and secured is what we want to see. So here's another one here, indicates it's secured as well. Another one down here that is too. These ones are all good, they're fine. But there are some here that say open, and they've got a little exclamation mark here, which indicates something bad. In this particular instance, it is that there's no password on it, and anyone can connect into it. Might be fine if you're working in a rural location and there's no one around you, but if you're in a built-up area, apartments perhaps, and you're running a network like this or connected to one, then you don't necessarily know who else is connected into it. So it's important to make sure you're not using a network like that, and if you are, that you get that resolved quickly. The next thing we're going to take a bit of a look at is an antivirus application. We'll just make sure that we've got one installed. So this one's broken. We're going to have a bit of a look at it. So down in here, if we have a bit of a look around, you sometimes have to click the hide button in the taskbar down here to see everything that's in there. But if you hover over these icons, you can see what they are. This particular one we can see is ESET Endpoint Antivirus. It's version 7.1. It's current. I know that, and that's all right. But we can see it's got a little red exclamation mark there, which means that there's something not quite right about it. So it's important to get us to take a bit of a look at it, or your IT partner to take a look at your staff's machine and make sure it's working properly and it's secure, because this particular one isn't. I should also say that I set this up specifically to be broken. I don't normally operate a computer without a functioning antivirus, so just for the example here. So let's have a bit of a look at phishing emails. So these are the most kind of frequent ways we see passwords being leaked online. And when a password becomes available online, an email address and password, that's more often than not the same password that people use for everything. So it might only be for Animate's online store or something like that the password was leaked from, but you probably use it in other things, and it might be banking or Xero or something that's actually quite important. So these are examples of fraudulent emails that are trying to glean information from you, trying to get your password to use to sell online. So let's have a bit of a look at some of them here. We've got a few lined up. This one here is pretending to be a SharePoint document. We can see, I'll just make my video a little bit smaller there, guys. We can see here that there's a rather fuzzy, strange looking icon on the bottom of it. I mean, you can pretty much tell straight away something like this would never come out of Microsoft systems. So it's a shared document claiming to be from SharePoint, but then it's got this sort of horrible thing in the bottom of it. You should be able to tell pretty easily that it's not what it says it is. And you also find if you hover over it as well, it comes up with links to something that clearly isn't what we want. So this is definitely a fraudulent one. Don't click that. Certainly don't enter your details in if you do. So that's one of them. Here's one here. So this was sent through as what appears to be an audio recording, a voicemail message from a phone system. So for us, this is easy to determine that it's a fake one, because we don't run a system that uses voicemail recording. So we know straight away that it's not a genuine one. Definitely, if you hover over this, you can see that it takes you to a website that doesn't look at all legitimate. Let's keep well away from that. Don't go there. and don't go entering your details into it. You can also see up the top here that the email address, even though it says call center, it's the email address doesn't look like something that we know about at least. So sebpo.com is not a domain I recognize, and that's definitely something we can use to determine whether it's a legitimate email or not. Got another one here. This one's pretending to be a like an invoice or something. So you can see it comes from what's possibly a legitimate email address, crowndoor.ca. It doesn't ring any bells to me, so I probably wouldn't be looking at opening it anyway. But if you hover over this, you can see straight away it isn't even an attachment. It's an image with a hyperlink on it. So you'd click this thinking you're opening the PDF file, but actually it's linking you to a website, to jfreecss.co.uk, which is, you know, not something we want anything to do with. So that's the kind of things you might expect to see creeping through an insecure email account. Just keep an eye out for those sort of things. Make sure that your staff are trying to avoid those sort of documents, trying to avoid those sort of emails that come through periodically. Make sure they've got up-to-date antivirus, and make sure they're not connected to an unsafe, insecure wireless network. Thanks very much for listening.